I think it's turned out pretty well. I think I think it's better. I feel better than I have before. I used to feel sorry for myself a lot because I try to do things and I think I'm failing. But now I look at it a different way. I sort of smile and think, oh well, try again tomorrow, you know. I won't give up. I'll keep trying, you know, try to do my best. I might be a bit slow, but will try to get quicker. Hi, I'm Malcolm. I was born on the 11th of April 1940. I'm 83 years of age now. My father came from Scotland, he came from Glasgow, and my mother came from Yorkshire, Sheffield in Yorkshire. Actually, my home life was good. I had a good relationship with my mum and my grandma. She was a real soul of my life, really. She was a grand old lady. They all played music. Dad played the drums in the pipe band, and Mum played the piano, and my sister played the piano. But I chose to play the violin, which I didn't do too bad. I ended up playing 2 Vivaldi concertos before I left home to go to England. We had 3/4 of an acre section at Coe, and we had our own garden as well. We had 2 lemon trees. One was the Lisbon, and we had 9 peach trees and a pear tree, and about 5 apple trees. All different ones, all different apples. Well, Dad grafted one. I had 3 different grafts on it, and that did really well. I did start building model aeroplanes at the age of 7. I started off with gliders. My father wanted me to do a hobby because I always worked with him in the garden before that. And so I started building model aeroplanes. I started doing the rubber-powered aircraft as well, balsa wood, and then went on to building the control line aeroplanes, mainly the control, yes, and more gliders. I love flying gliders because I used to, as I said, I lived in Kohimarama, and I used to fly them at the local primary school, and I used to fly right down Rawati-Rawa Road. I used to run after them because I had a rubber catapult, put a spike in the ground and let it go, and it used to fly right up and fly away. It was wonderful. The most one I think I've never been able to repeat was playing the violin to the record that we had. We had a radiogram at home, and I used to play music to that, and I used to play with Mum on the piano as well. I think those are the times. We had a New Zealand club, or I don't know if it was called a New Zealand club or a London club, I'm not sure. And it was to invite people to Britain. So what we did, we boarded a plane from Auckland to Sydney and caught a Greek ship called the Patris. And we sailed from all around, we left Sydney, went to Melbourne, went to Fremantle, went to Aden and to Greece. And had a few nights in Greece, and we travelled by train through Greece, through Yugoslavia and Austria, and to Munich in Germany. And we went from Germany to I can't remember. I think it was a port in France. I can't remember the name of it. But we sailed on a hovercraft to Dover. And I got there on the 9th of February. It was snowing at the time. They had a lot of snow in London in those days. But I used to love the music and go to various concerts. It was really good in those days. I liked all type of classical music in those days. From a young age, I used to love Handel and Vivaldi, and it was different in New Zealand in those days because they had discussions on the radio about these composers. Well, I met my wife through a workmate, Peter Wilson, and I think he was going with a girl himself at the time, and introduced me to my wife. We got engaged and we were married in 1972. We loved music, you know. I learnt to play the violin when I was 16, when I was working at the New Zealand Herald. And Jeanette played the piano, and her mother sang and played the piano. And we attended a singing choir, didn't we? And it was the Campbell Black Singers. We sang a lot of Scottish songs, which I loved. To work together, to share things together. And if someone can't do anything, I can probably help to do something for her, you know, rather than not always think of myself. You know. I always think if there's a way out, you know, a way I can help, the better relationships are. I think I went through a bad time when Andrew was born, because I think it was a more responsibility looking after Andrew as well as my wife. I think those biggest challenges. I think I got through all right. Yes, I used to be very proud of Andrew, the way he was growing up, and we helped him in his schooling. He did well at school. He loved his architecture. I was very proud of Andrew. And Andrew started off as a cub, and he did really well, and he ended up doing well in Scouts. And we ended up going to the camps with him, and we helped with the cooking and had our own tent and everything else. And we joined in with their care and adventures, which is really good. I tend to think that you grow up with them, and if they have challenges, help them through that. I'm a grandfather now. Yes, lovely boy. Well, it's taken me back to my childhood again, because I'd never known a childhood like what Finn's having now. Mine was more challenging, and I did a lot on my own, you know. My father was a little bit more strict to us, and we couldn't do as we liked. But other than that, got over that with Finn being the way he is now. You know, he's a delightful boy, and he seems quite advanced for his age too. Whereas I was slow in being brought up. so different. Yeah, I feel about 56. Sometimes lately with Finn I feel a lot younger because I don't feel old. I don't feel my age. I like to make sure I'm fit enough to walk around and do the lawns. I think working hard, I've always worked hard. I've always done my best for what I've done. I've enjoyed, I've achieved with our garden at the back there. Andrew, Jeanette and I built this place ourselves. We did a lot ourselves out the back, and I'm proud of that. I've also learnt how to look after a lawnmower. You know what I mean is check the spark plugs and make sure it's going, things like that. I've learnt a lot on YouTube, that sort of thing. I've always loved people who I know, so I don't ask for all that much back, but just respect that I've tried to help them. As long as they realise that, I think that's the main thing. I've had a couple of operations, and one was a kidney biopsy, and I don't know what happened. I felt really sick, and I fainted, and all I remember was seeing Jeanette through a sort of like a framed window and brought me back. Jeanette brought me back from some sort of a delirium I had in my head, because the biopsy went slightly wrong, I think. It hit something that it shouldn't have done and made me feel very, very sick that day. That was about the worst, I think I remember. That was 2016, I think. Well, actually, it's a mad thing, but I think finding music that nobody's ever heard before, I think that's what I've accomplished. I've got them stacked away in our house, but don't often play them, but it's still something that is in my memory that I was glad I did, because you'd never find them in New Zealand.
What things do you think you can't live without?
Food.
What kind of food?
Well, I've sort of done my own baking. I do quite a bit of cooking for us, so I enjoy sweet foods, and I like baking scones. Being yourself, I think. I think there are all different challenges in everyone's life. I just think living day by day, saying, God, you know, you're as healthy as you can be, and you just enjoy life and be able to eat and drink whatever you like at home. Yeah, home life is great. I think so. And sing or play, listen to music, that sort of thing. Yeah.